We continue to do very well at PrizePicks. Week in and week out, we're putting up our PrizePicks entries and we're taking down some money. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my favorite PrizePicks entry for UFC Vegas 92. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say more or less than the numbers you see on the screen, and you can make some very real money. Depending on how many you put together, you can 10 times your money, 20 times your money, get some bonuses, get one of those free squares, make a ton of money, have a ton of fun, and they will even give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do to get that free money is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match your deposit. If you give them $20, they'll give you $20. If you give them $100, they'll give you $100 instantly that you can use to build an entry, win that entry, and then withdraw that money. wewantpicks.com/prizepicks. Promo code WWP. Let's go ahead and break down my entry. I'm going to give you a trace. There are 3 slots that I like here. What PrizePicks does that makes it a little trickier than some of the other offerings is that it's a limited slate. Right? This is not every single fighter or every single fight on the card. So when they limit it, there's a couple of guarantees that aren't there. There are 2 right off the rip with the significant strike lines that I like. We're going to go more on Emily Ducote. The reality is she has cruised past this 83.5 more than once. She is a high volume striker. She will just pump that jab, throw the straight right, stay there. She's not a finisher. Neither is her opponent. So this fight is going to go the distance. We'll have 15 full minutes. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of grappling here. So I think we're going to end up with a whole bunch of significant strikes in a fight that cruises well past 83.5. So I like Emily Ducote's more. The only other significant strike line that I like here is Angela Hill. Literally the exact same reasons. This fight is going to go the distance. Angela's not dangerous. Angela Hill has cruised past 79.5 significant strikes before. And yes, in her last fight, she turned into a Nurmagomedov. She had 5 takedowns, and that was her game plan. But she wasn't fighting somebody with the jiu-jitsu prowess that Luana Pinheiro has. So I don't think Angela Hill is going to be trying to take Luana down. I think it's going to be pot shot, just tons of striking, lots of footwork, piece her up, stay on the outside, and cruise past this 79.5. Again, you go through her fight history. She has gotten past that number many, many times before, especially over opponents that weren't world class. Angela Hill has fought everybody in this division. And when she fights the elite, it's obviously a little harder to get in those significant strikes. But when she's fighting middle-of-the-road fighters, when she's playing that gatekeeper role, the volume is there. She cruises right past. So I do like that number for her. The rest of these are tricky. Abus Magomedov, you see a low number like 33.5, and you're like, ooh, should I do the more? You know, he's got plenty of finishes, but he's not always a finisher. The problem is Warlley Alves, his opponent, is going to come flying right at him. And he's either going to knock Abus out or get finished, and we may not get to this 33.5, or it's a 15-minute sloppy disaster. The reason we continue to do well with PrizePicks is I try to avoid some of the more questionable ones. Obviously, these are fist fights, and anything can happen. But I try to avoid the ones that are too open-ended. Melissa Gatto, for example. She could come in, get a takedown, get a submission immediately. Or she can look like she did in her last fight, get shut down, get no takedowns whatsoever, end up in a striking match, and then get way past this number, because that's all it is. It's just a striking match. So we're going to leave those alone. The main event, Lerone Murphy, 80 seems solid, but he is a low-volume guy. That is 5 rounds to work with. This is the only other one I considered if you want to do the more on him. He has 5 rounds to work with. I don't think this fight ends by finish. So in 5 rounds, can he land fewer strikes than Emily's going to land in 3? Probably. So you might want to add the Lerone Murphy more than 80.5 significant strikes. If we go to fight time, the one that I do like here is Abus Magomedov over 6.5. I know I just told you that Warlley Alves is going to come sprinting at him. I know I just told you that. And that is what's going to happen. But I do think this fight will go over 1.5 rounds. I think Warlley Alves sprinting at him will turn Abus Magomedov into a wrestler. That's why I don't like the significant strikes. Because if he's a wrestler, he's not going to get 33.5 significant strikes. He's going to get the takedowns. He's going to look to control. He's going to look to calm down, slow down Warlley, take away the danger. So I do like the Abus over 6.5. Tom Nolan, 5.5. I'm going to leave that alone. That one's tricky. Omar Sy, 5.5. a little over 1 round. This is a new opponent. This is a last-minute step up. He is a UFC debut. He is insanely dangerous. He's a guy that will absolutely rip your head off. The less on 5.5 is actually looking pretty good, but I'm going to leave it alone. Again, I try to remove the more questionable ones. He's a UFC debut. His opponent is short notice. They might both just stare at each other for a little bit and then get going. So we'll leave that one alone. Temba Garimbo, 9.5. His coach just died, or his coach's mom. They were or dad. I don't know. There were conflicting reports if his coach died or one of his coach's parents. Either way, there's some drama in that fight camp. Temba's a guy that I bet on. Temba's a guy that I think wins. Ramiz Brahimaj is coming back after 2 years away and some surgeries. But all of a sudden, emotions are running high. He was crying at the press conference. I'm going to leave all of that alone. Fantasy score, I do not usually touch. PrizePicks has their own scoring system. Here's that scoring chart. You get points for strikes, takedowns, defending takedowns, which is unique to the PrizePicks scoring system. And then obviously finished bonuses. What I like to do with the fantasy score is see a favorite that I think is going to lose. Like if I was positive a boost was going to lose, we're going to go less on 110. But this is an interesting card. It's a tricky card. I think all of these people can win. All of these people should win. I mean, it is all the favorites, and I think this might be a very favorite-heavy card. The only one I would consider the less on is potentially Pereira Rodrigues, if she doesn't do what she thinks she's going to do to Ariana Carnelozzi, and Carnelozzi's jacked and strong and all those things. That's the only one I would consider the less there. I don't think Melissa Gatto wins, but if she does, she's cruising past that number. And the last thing is the takedowns. Pereira Rodrigues, 3 takedowns on Ariana Carnelozzi. That's what we'll need. Ariana's jacked and strong. Melissa Gatto, 1.5 takedowns. She got shut down. She didn't get takedowns in her last. She has takedowns. They're not very good. And while Tamiris was just taken down a few times, that was against Montserrat Rendon. And Montserrat Rendon is solid. And my camera is following me, and it's annoying. Come on, stop. Stay there. Okay. Then we have Lerone Murphy at 1.5 takedowns. Again, this guy has 5 rounds to work with. Will he take down Edson Barboza twice? If he really wants to, he can. I don't know if he's going to want to. He may have success striking, or Edson Barboza may just be lighting him up, winning those striking exchanges, taking his legs away because Edson has great kicks and Lerone's not going to shoot. If you're going to throw Lerone in there, I would rather do the over 80 significant strikes than the over 2 takedowns. 5 rounds to work with. We're positive there will be striking. We're not positive there will be wrestling. I'm going to leave my entry right here the way it is. If we take a look, I placed this the other day. We got Emily Ducote over 83.5 significant strikes. Angela Hill, more than 79.5 significant strikes. And the sketchiest one is the Abus Magomedov, more than 6.5 fight minutes. Again, this fight could end almost immediately, but I do think Warlley Alves' insane forward pressure, swinging wild, is going to turn Abus into a Nurmagomedov. How about that? And we're going to get a lot of wrestling and not as many strikes. So I'm going to go the fight minutes instead. This is my entry. If you like it, great. If you don't like this entry, that's fine too. Go to WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. Use promo code WWP and let them instantly match your deposit. Give them 20, they'll give you 20. Give them 100, they'll give you 100. Take the free money, build your entry. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. Promo code WWP.